Okay, welcome back to the table. So here we go. We got, it looks like I bumped my phone a little bit. Gonna move it a little. There we go. All the corners there aren't showing up anymore. Let me flip over to the app. And here we go. So we are starting turn one. We, of course, are the only ones who are going to go because there is no enemy at this moment. There's no furniture in this room. I don't believe so, because if you click on these, it doesn't show furniture. The red line thing, of course, you had to look in the scenario book to know what that meant. But okay, let's get going. We're going to have the lion go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And you can see the movement points are there. And then we're going to have our rogue go 1, 2. I mean, technically, I guess, does that count as 1 or is that start as 1? So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll go ahead and do it that way. And then, let's see, she has 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 behind the lion. The paladin has 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And remember, the paladin is not encumbered because of the skill. In fact, we could have just come in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's same 6. The dwarf only has 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then this one has 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, I always forget, like, okay, what actions do they want to do? I'm always thinking about their movement first. So what actions do we want to do before we end the turn? The special rules again. The weather is a -1 to the shooting skill. Oh, and movement if they are activated or perform actions. Okay, so we're going to have to roll a die for each one. So let's start with the lion. I'm going to roll 1 die. Got a 3. And then we're going to go ahead and do her. See how the dice shows up in different places? So I wish I could select them all. 3, 4. I do like this, how they show up on the left side like that. There you go. So you got your evidence right over here on the left. I didn't roll a 1. So they were able to move their full amount. So yes, I do have to roll when I'm outside at least. Okay, so is this considered a room? Yes, it is. So we're going to go to the rogue. And we're going to roll 2 dice. I rolled a 5. That's not enough. I didn't detect anything. So when you search for a room, you can only do it once. I think we had everybody doing it more than once, but that's the thing is these things are they're really dicey. You only get to do it once, and this is where I could choose to maybe spend a favor point to do another one. I do need to make sure. Like when you look at a furniture, you can only do it once. I gotta look at the actions here because there's like certain actions that are available every turn. We can get those up here in front of you. So searching rooms. See, it's a perception test. And if you succeed, you get 1d3 plus 1. If you get a double 6, you draw a treasure card. So it doesn't say it there. It makes it sound like you can do it all the time. But I would swear there was something. I know with the furniture, you can only do that once. Searching rooms, page 26. Nope. Page 25. If the character is in a room, not a corridor, that has previously been examined for this purpose, he can declare that he wants to inspect it for treasures. He does not need to be adjacent to a wall or element. Cannot be combined with a movement. Oh, you can't do it with a movement. To do so, you must pass a perception test. You only have one attempt to do so. You'll find 1d3 plus 1 coins. Once the main room's been revealed, you can't do this anymore. So that's a little lame. You can't move to do it. So that's where the elf forester is going to come in play, because I'm going to need her to do these types of perception checks, because I can't have the rogue stopping and wasting a whole turn just searching a room, because I need him to be the one that goes up to open the next door. So there's some interesting elements there. But yeah, we couldn't do this action even if we wanted to, because we moved. So that's interesting. That definitely will give the dark player more points, because it's going to take you longer to get through a dungeon. Okay, any other actions we want to do? The answer is no. So we're going to go ahead and end our turn. So the elven forester is going to roll, and actually we're going to roll with this way. So our forester is going to cast that spell to improve. So there you go. We got a 10, and then you had 5 more, and so we get to do 6 turns. But it's because he's an apprentice, it'll be 5. He's got the dexterity enhancement for 5 turns. Now, one thing that we could do instead of dexterity enhancement is we could do this detecting evil. And he gets a +2 to perception checks, which means then he gets a +3. And I'm actually going to choose that one instead. So we're going to do that one instead. So he's got 5 turns of enhanced perception. So now it gets a +3, so he could be the one that searches the rooms instead of the rogue. And that scores a point for us. So we could go here to the hero's victory points, and we now have, it never shows it here, but if you can see down here at the bottom, it says 1. It's really hard to read, at least on my screen. Okay, so now the VP's, or the enemy goes, he scores a point. And now we go to turn 2. And I'm going to go ahead and automatically give the enemy another point, because I'm going to forget if I don't. So he's up to 2 points right now. And is there any way to move those? Or yeah, there's nothing I can do. I mean, it's just so hard to read. That could be a little bit better. Okay, I was supposed to check for traps. So let's click on this. And I did. I got a trap. And that trap would have been, well, I moved the lion first, but I didn't need to. So it would have been with the rogue, who's all the way up here. Oh, dang it. I did all kinds of stuff wrong. So these guys would have been here. So this would have been safe. So the moment I stepped on this location right here, I would have had a trap. So let's go ahead and draw one. And it's a pit. Dark player places a pit in the square occupied by the character who triggered the trap. If he's in a corridor, so this is for a room or a corridor. I'm outside. I mean, this isn't even considered a room. If you do not detect it, you fall into the pit. So that means that the rogue would have been all the way back. He would have stepped here. Then he would have had to go back 1 space. And I don't know, like, does it have tokens for things like a pit? No, it doesn't. So right here, this is like how we can show that we searched it for treasure or whatever. Yeah, he doesn't have tokens for pits and, well, I guess there's furniture. I don't know if there's a pit here, though. Yeah, there is, right there. All right, so we can put a pit here. And because his movement stopped, we now have to do a perception check to see if he sees it. And that, by the way, is a 7. And then if the pit is detected, he can overcome with a great jump action. And the great jump action is you have to pass an agility check. Otherwise, he falls into the pit and you get stunned and 4 damage dice. And it can't be placed in such a way that it blocks the door access. So we're going to go ahead and click on our rogue here. We're going to roll 2 dice. And that's a poor roll. I rolled a 4. And then that causes me to get, oh no, I get a 7 because I add +3 for my perception. I'm still near my lion at the time. So I actually pass. So then I have to roll again, but this time it's going to be for an agility check. And that's wonderful. I rolled a 7. I add 5 to that. That gets me to 12. I easily hop over and get to the other side. So he would have stopped there for his turn. And that's it. Everybody else could have moved. And because he's here, he has a safe zone of 2. So the only other one that would have drawn would have been the lion, who went all the way up here. But I would not have moved the lion that far away. I would have just kept the lion 1 space back. So they're all creating their own safe zones. Or I could have, for example, moved this person in and then the lion actually can move there because they're creating their own safe zones. So what I'm trying to say is you can make it so there's no more safe zone violation going on. It's an annoying part of the game, but it's also, I think, a cool, like, I couldn't think of a better way to implement it. I mean, he did a great job. So anyways, there we go. Now we're going on to turn 2. And this is where it gets interesting because, yes, I could search the room now because the rogue is all the way back here. And, you know, do I want to open this area or don't I? That's a good question. For sure, I want to move 1. Or let's see, 1, 2. Oh, this would be 1, 2 because I got to go over him. 3, 4, and that puts me to 5. And I have to spend an action to open that area. So that's my choice if I want to do that. And is it really worth it to search this room just for some piddly coins? No. Let's do it. We're going to spend an action. I'm going to open the room. Now, I do have to roll this. See, and I don't know if the die actually rolled. Because, see, there we go. Now we know it rolled. So we got another one that we're drawing. And it is debris. There is a rock slide. Following the activation of this card, the entire section where the heroes are located will be regarded as difficult rocky terrain. So that means we're leaving that section right now. So that's not a bad deal. But it does mean, though, that it's difficult terrain, which I believe is a +1 to this movement. I do have a movement card here, if I can find it. We got hero setup, attributes and tests. Increase the challenge. Target selection, placing. I would swear we had one that said movement. Here it is. Difficult terrain. 1 extra movement point for each space he wishes to advance. Characters placed in difficult terrain get a -1 penalty to their casting and other stuff too. Okay, so it cost me 5. I'm going to assume that that meant the terrain that we're at, which is this terrain here. So it was a rock slide right before we tried to enter the cave, but I don't think we're in the cave yet. This is the part I don't understand. Am I in the cave or am I not in the cave? It says that all sections of the scenario considered indoors will be affected by the darkness card. Okay, we do eventually get to some regular tiles. So I guess we're gonna call those the indoor tiles. We're still quote unquote outdoors right now. And okay, everybody gets to roll. I didn't mean to hit that checkbox. I was supposed to roll for the bard. I'm sorry, for Fatty before I moved him. Okay, so Fatty did spend 5 movement points, and since we rolled the trap card, there is no encounter here, so we are okay. But he can move 1 more, and so he'll move 1 more for 6 and go to there. And that does require him to roll again because he's outside of the safe zone. Okay, so nothing happens. Then the lion's going to go. So this is 2, 4, 5, 6. And the lion will go ahead and stop. And then this is, I have a real hard time seeing the squares. So I believe that's 2, 4, 6. And has to stop. 2, 4. 2, 4. And then 2, 4, 6. So they're not even able to get out of the room. So the victory points goes to 3. The turn goes to 3. And like I said, we should have 1 victory point because we cast a spell. And we're down to 4 turns left on our perception. Now we're down to 3 because we're starting a new turn. So we're going to move the one from the back. Well, no, because that's going to cause everybody to get into a traffic jam. So we're going to do this one. 1, 2, 3. I'm sorry. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That creates a new safe zone. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4. Nope. We're going to move the lion 1, 2, 3. Nope. This guy. Fatty's going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then, let's see, his safe zone goes to here. Yeah, the lion can move next and get behind him. And then 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. So we got, wait, this is actually really hard for me to see. I don't know how easy it is for you guys to see. And maybe, could I zoom in a little? Like, does that help? So we got the elf here, Fatty. The lion's text is, or his picture screws you up, but the lion is there. There's the paladin, and then those 2. Okay, so that's another whole turn, wasted again. So now he scores another point. And by the way, I gotta go look at the that debris and the pit. Those both cost 3 points. So his reserve goes down by 3. Let me go look at the camera here. Yeah, when I zoomed in, that looks better to me. It's more fun to play with the board in front of you on the table than doing it on the app. But the app is more convenient. I will spend all day looking for all these components to build these tiles. I'm really torn. I think the app is more convenient, but the board in front of me on the table was way more fun. Okay, so let's go ahead and start turn 4. So Fatty here is going to move forward 1 space. And yes, we're going to open this door. Then we got to roll. See, it doesn't roll, and I have to click again. And it just always goes to trap. There we go. That was something other than trap. All right, so we got another trap. Here's the trap card. It's a leg hold trap. Was that one of the ones that the scenario lets me do? I'm just checking. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Okay, so that's going to cost him 2 more points. So we're going to lower the reserve twice. It affects the square occupied by the character who triggered it. He suffers 3 damage dice. If he loses any vitality points, he'll also get one-armed or weak knee as described in the injury section. Jesus. It affects in case of chest and doors, it affects the hero's hands. Oh my gosh. So we need to get a 7, like desperately. We need a 7. So Mr. Fatty here needs to roll 2 dice. Look at that, we rolled a 9. That's good, 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 good. That was a really nasty trap. I would have spent a fortune point to re-roll that sucker. That was not one I wanted to fail. Okay, but we now are in a room where we've twice now had no encounters. So I already re-rolled the die a second time because remember I was saying you have to click on it multiple times. We got the trap, and now you can see we got the power die, so we still didn't roll the encounter. So that puts us to 2. I'm still in the safe zone, but now I'm going to go 3, and I have to roll. I got a trap. Another one. So it's 2 more points. The section is in complete darkness. While in this section, all characters get a -1 to their attributes. If this card is activated while opening a door, darkness will only affect the newly revealed section. It cannot affect the main room. Are not affected by this card. Okay, so that is another 2 points for him. The Fatty here is holding a torch, or he should be. No, he has a lantern. So the light source illuminates the section of an area with a radius of 6 squares while lit. It can be left on a square and will still illuminate unless an adjacent enemy uses an action to turn it off or destroy it. So we're in darkness, but I have it lit, and for 6 squares it's lit. I don't know how best to indicate that, but anyways, I also have to roll 1 die for his weather, and we're okay. So that was, we spent 1 point to move here, 2, 3, okay. This is 4, and I got to roll again. And then 5. And 6. Okay, we're good. So now we have our elf here who needs to go in, and so she's going to go 1, 2. So the lion went out to here, the elf went out to here, so she's still safe. Safe zone here, but there's not a safe zone here, so now the elf will move forward 1 more for 3. First of all, we're going to do the weather. Now we're going to do the check, which is not that. It's that. And then 4, 5, 6. We can do this dude. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that puts me right out of the safe zone, doesn't it? Dang it. Boy, that dwarf would not have done a good job if he triggered a trap. I don't want him. Yeah, I do want him there. Okay, lion. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then this guy, 1, 2, 3, 4, nope. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I had no choice. I had to go through them. So we're doing a lot of walking here. And so all he's doing is scoring points. But that's okay. We're going to get our chance, cast some spells, score our own points. So now he goes up to 5 points, and we're on to turn 5. I'm realizing I needed to roll weather. Okay, the paladin had 1 less point. So, oh, screw me. The paladin would be all the way back here. And then the cat technically needed to roll. Yeah, this website's not perfect. I would have preferred to have this on my iPad, for sure. But then, like, some features I can't use very easily. Okay, so, like I said, we're on to turn 5 now. So far, other than, there's been a few traps, but we're doing okay. I am going to just keep plowing forward and trying to open the next room. I don't really have a lot of actions to just sit and search a room like we were doing. So let's go ahead and just, trudge forward here. And we have 1, 2, 3, and let's open. So you can see we got a new room here, and that's where it's going to be dark. And we got another trap. So we got a rock slide again. Affects the square occupied by the character who acted. A number of rocks fall, dealing a number of damage dice equal to 8 minus the character's agility. And so I need to roll a freaking 9. Holy cow. It does cost 3 points for him. So he loses 3 more points. 1, 2, 3. And Mr. Fatty here needs to roll big. He did not roll big. He rolled a 4. He adds 3 to get to 7. But he only adds 3 if the lion's close. Yeah, the lion is close. Lion's right there. Yep. Lion's 4 spaces away, it looks like. 1, 2, 3, 4. So he loses the... I'm going to spend a point to re-roll that one. And that means he scores another point. He's up to 7. And let's re-roll. There we go. I passed. Okay, so I started here. I'm already going to be stepping on another potential trap. So that was 3 movement. Here's 4. And so now I gotta see if... Oh, I had to do that first. My apologies. We had multiple rooms where nobody spawned. So we had to do this, and so people are spawning. So I need to go back. I'm at 3 movement points in, but there's a spawn here, and we're in this tight corridor. So this is gonna be interesting. Let me pause. Well, first of all, let me show you the card, and then I gotta pause to figure out how to resolve the card. And then there's all these crazy rules about corridors. It is ambush. Place creatures for up to 6 points in an already explored section, empty of creatures and adjacent to one where there is at least 1 creature of heroes. So basically they're going to come in behind us. If this card is activated after opening a door or chest, it will be understood that the door or chest was not opened. Okay. So it's not, the new room is not opened. Instead, we're being ambushed behind us somehow. Okay. So that won't be in a corridor, at least. So that saves us there. And it says 6 points. For up to 6 points. So what we have to do is you have to take this fantastic creatures thing, and then there's a creature spawn table here, and it's used for enemy spotted, ambush, and reinforcements. +1 to the result of the real section is large. It's not. +1 for every 30 VP. We're now over 60, so he gets a +2. So I'm just going to roll the die here in front of us. I rolled a 4, but +2 is 6. So that's going to cost 6 VP. And it's 3 great spiders, and we got to figure out, like, they're going to spawn somehow behind us. So let me unclick this guy. We're going to spend 6 of his VP. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got to go into the enemies and find great spider. So 1, 2, 3. I put 3 of them out there. And there is a room that only has 1 person, so it would spawn there. So it would spawn 2 spaces away. And then the next one would be here. And then the last one would be there. Which, this is sort of working out for us because the paladin's in the back. So our big strong guys are going to be able to take these on, no problem. And then let me find the card, because obviously the app doesn't do a great job of explaining what we're up against. So what we have is we have the Great Spider here. Has a ton of movement and really strong strength. The combat ability is okay. They use the Beast AI, which is different than Melee. So we'll have to figure that out. They come with fangs, and they have some skills here. Large, fearsome, pathfinder, and climber. And then for 3 VP, paralyzing poison. For every 5 points lost, its agility and movement will be reduced by 1. It has 20 health. Holy buckets. That's going to be quite the battle. And so for purposes of the door, the room is not open. So we, and they're red. Look, that's a red monster. We're going to get a ton of points for this guy. This is not going to be a trivial battle. Well, hold on. Is it a giant spider or is it a great spider? Let me check. They're great spiders, not giant spiders. There you go. That's much more manageable. There we go. Only 4 health. They're giant spiders, not great spiders. Holy buckets. That was having me worried for a second. And yeah, that would have been very bad. Boy, there's a lot of elite guys in this. Okay. 33 minutes in. So our rogue technically didn't open the door. Well, what I can do is I can insist I'm going to open it anyways, because there's no harm in doing that just because we have enemies that are spawned. But we do have to do an initiative check. And what's interesting is the initiative check, since we're being ambushed, it has to be done by the paladin. And the paladin does not have any perception. So this is going to be bad. So, and that's why I guess they call it ambush. So the paladin will roll 2 dice, got an 8. And then the dark player, you just click on this for the dark player. They're going to roll 2 dice, and they got a 10. And the giant spiders they don't have any perception. Perception's is 0. So we would have done okay if we would have just outrolled them, but we didn't. And so this is even worse. There is a chart. If it was a normal encounter, it just means that they go first. But since this is ambush, we might even be knocked out or whatever. It's not good. Let's just put it that way. That we failed the initiative check. Okay, ambush is not in the index. initiative is, though. 16, 23. It has like 12 different places where initiative is. I want the primary section that explains how initiative works. And of course, it doesn't tell me. $30, $31. Here we go. We got a nice little chart here. It says that if it's an ambush card, if we would have won, a new turn would have begun for us. Dark player wins. Turn ends for the heroes. Dark player's turn begins. So they are going to go first, and we are facing the wrong way. So one thing that you can do here is, like, I can show that he's facing that way, because that's what that actually means, is that's the direction that they're facing. So that little arrow is not, saying this is where I'm located. That's actually the direction they're facing. So I keep using it as where they're located. So technically, that's where they are. So our turn immediately ends, their turn begins. So they get another point. And they go up to 7. And so now we'll have to grab the AI for these spiders and figure out what they do. So the spiders use, see, look, they have the little horse symbol there. So they're going to use that AI card. It's called Animals and Vermin. So at the beginning of its activation, if it's wounded and with enemies of the same or larger, it must perform a courage test. It's not. What size are these? Are these small creatures? Are they medium? And we know that from this card. The small creatures are 29, 30, and 50. And that's the standee. This should have the standee number on it somewhere. Oh, come on. It's a great spider. It's got terrain listed there. I gotta get out the bestiary book just to figure out which one. That's a little lame. That's very lame. Why would it not say? Okay, fine. Okay, it is definitely a small creature. I don't know how to tell that on the card, but I was able to look in the bestiary, and it's a small creature. So that part we got covered. What's interesting is that it says that it's got a target priority of health, armor, and then closest, but the card itself has a new target priority written on it. So this one is ignoring the card, I'm assuming. I'm assuming that this trumps what's on here. So it's not going to push anybody because it's smaller than us, but basically it's going to go after whoever has the lowest armor, which is not the paladin. But I don't think they have a choice, because the paladin is actually perfectly positioned to create problems for them. So we're going to go ahead and get this going. Sorry, I just got so much stuff from moving around here. All right, so if I go back to the app, you can see, okay, if this one activates, he's going to be facing this way, and he's going to go up and engage the paladin. And then while I'm just on the topic, this one's going to engage diagonally and it would also engage the paladin. And then this one can't do anything because the paladin, well, no, because as soon as the paladin engages one of them, the other one can move through. And then he would have attacked the wizard. Yeah, that's how that would play out. That's not good. This is not good. Okay, then this one would have moved here, and because he can't attack anybody else, he would also attack the paladin. So we got 2 attacking the paladin and 1 attacking the wizard. All right, so, and I do like that it shows they have 4 health and all that stuff. So what we got to do is let's start with the paladin. Let's get both of those out of the way. So paladin is going to roll 2 dice. You can see I got a 10 at the bottom. And then this guy's going to roll 2. And the dark player had a critical miss. Oh my gosh. So then they got to roll a blunder roll. And a blunder roll needed to be a 1. And I guess he would have broken his fangs. But he critically missed. So too bad it wasn't, somebody who actually had a weapon that can be dropped. Okay, so then we go to the next one, and he's going to roll. He got an 11. And then the paladin rolls, and oh gosh, the paladin rolled a 3. Paladin adds 5, but that's not enough. So it is going to get to roll 3 damage dice. The paladin does have a shield. Our shield blocks on a 5 or greater. So the paladin's going to roll 1. I rolled a 4, which is not enough. So the damage dice are going to go through. And so now we're going to get 3. And so we do have an armor of 6, so we do take 1 hit right here. So the paladin has 4 health, and so he really does take a damage. So now he's down to 3. And I'm actually going to keep track of that on my table as well, because when I stay at an inn or whatever, I'm not going to be able to look at this as easy. But yeah, the paladin's down to 3. All right, so now we got to do the Chun, the wizard. So he's going to roll his 2 dice. He has a 10, and then the dark player, the spider, rolls a 6. Now the spiders add 3, so they got to a 9, but the wizard rolled a 10. So believe it or not, the wizard actually prevented a damage, which that was a really good roll. We would have been in trouble there. So yeah, the ambush sucks. They took their turn. They did hit the paladin once. The other one critically missed. The hit on the paladin, by the way, the paladin could not have used his shield because he was facing the other way. So I did roll for his shield, but my apologies. That's not allowed in this situation. They attacked the paladin from the back. The wizard, they did not attack from the back because he was looking down. They attacked him from the side, but it doesn't matter. We did our job. Okay, so we get to go first, and I think what we're going to do is we need to help the wizard. So the barbarian's not going to move. He's just going to turn around and attack the spider. So he's going to go ahead and roll his 2 dice. And you can see here he adds 5. So a 3 plus 5 is 8, which is really lame because they can outroll an 8, which he just did. So the barbarian did nothing but piss in the wind. And then the paladin will switch directions. And I'm going to attack this guy here. So he's got a 3, and we should hit him. We rolled a 5, but that is still enough to hit him because we're adding 5. So we get to roll, we have a strength of 4, and our weapon adds 1 more. So we get to roll 5 dice on this guy. So I'm going to go ahead and roll 5. And the spider, it does not show his armor. His armor, though, is, I'm looking at his card, his armor is a 4. So you can see here we did 1, 2, 3, 4 hits on him. So 1, 2, 3, 4 hits, and basically he's dead. So I can go ahead and delete him. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to just put him over here because we have to count corpses afterwards. For searching for getting money and loot. So I'm going to put him over there, and then we killed somebody finally, so we get a point. So we're finally up to 2 points here. So good job, Paladin. The Paladin is actually a pretty kick-butt character. I like it. I actually am tempted that the dwarf should have been a knight or a warrior instead of a barbarian. I'm not sure what advantage the barbarian's giving me. They don't wear as heavy of armor, and they move less spaces. I think that's largely because it's a dwarf. Like I'm not as excited about this barbarian character, but I'm okay with him too. I mean, it's not like he's ruining my day. So now we're going to go ahead and do Chun here, and we're going to summon, I believe, our water elemental. Should we? That's a tough order here, because if I don't, he's going to get attacked again. And can I do my action and then move? I believe I can, because you do actions, you do moves. No, I cannot. But I could do like my ice arrows even if I move, so that part's fine. So here's my dilemma. I can only do the water elemental twice. And then let's say the water elemental survives this battle, and it should. Then we're going into a whole bunch of other rooms that could spawn somebody, and I'm already way behind everybody else. Yeah, you know what? I'm just going to do... since he has a creature adjacent to him, we're going to do, and I apologize, it's storming outside and it's freaking my dog out. We're going to do ice arrows here. And like I said, we only get to cast it twice, but it does 5 damage dice, and all characters adjacent suffer 3. But because he's not an experienced wizard yet, it's going to be, I'm assuming 4 and 2. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So let's pick Chun. We're going to roll 2 dice. I rolled a lowly 5, but I get to add 5 to it. So I still did great, even though it doesn't look great. And that costs 1 mana for him to do. And so we're going to go ahead and roll the 4 damage dice against the first person. And so that did 2 hits. So this goes down by 2. And then it rolls 2 damage dice against the other. It rolled for the dark player, but you know what it meant. So this goes down by 2 as well. So I hit both of them, but unfortunately the wizard's now vulnerable. He is facing that way now. And this guy was facing that way. It's just, I guess it's not showing very, oh, there you go. It's not showing very well. All right. The other thing I could do is move my archer back and try to help there. Or the lion can come back. And I think that's what I'm going to do. The lion is going to come and go 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to face it this way. And then the lion's going to go ahead and roll his 2 dice, which of course is way down here. So we rolled a 6, and you can see we get to add a 5. So that's 11. And the dark player rolled a 10, 13. So we missed. But the lion's at least protecting the wizard, which is the part I liked about that. And since I don't want to shoot arrows and potentially hit an ally, I'm actually going to use my perception and search the room. So let's do that. And that's a 7, 8, 9, 10. We passed. So we get a 1d3. So we're going to roll a d3 here. And we got ourselves a 2. So 1d3 plus 2. So that's 4 gold that we just got. So I'll take it. I'm going to take a 5 here and put 1 back. All right, so we found some gold while we were doing the search. And then we got the Hobbit here. I could actually open this door. And that's actually what I'm going to do. I'm going to open this door. The door is already open, but remember the rules said that the door is shut. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. Oh my gosh, that just spawned more people. That was not a smart thing to do. I was hoping that that wouldn't happen. Okay, well, ooh. Dark player will spawn an elite or champion level creature in a newly discovered section. Roll 3d6 to determine the extra skills the creature has according to its profile and pay for their cost. If the creature is the only one in that section, roll the scenario die again. Will result in 1 extra encounter card. Oh my gosh. Gotta roll this again. Thank God we didn't get another one. Oh, we had to roll this for whenever they started their turn. Crap, we got to do that too. Okay, there's a lot going on here. So the power card is Fear. One of the creatures gets the skill Fearsome. And so I would have put it on the first one. So let's go ahead and do that. That costs 1 point for him. And then all that means is the Paladin needed to pass a Fear check. So we're going to go ahead and roll 2. And the Paladin, by the way, has a 4 courage. I rolled 8 plus 4 is 12. We passed the fear check. So nothing else happens. But that particular spider, this one right here, has the ability to, he's fearsome. Right there it is. So we're going to add that to him so you can see that little marker there. All right, well, now we got to spawn a special creature. So we got to get a champion. And let's see what the special... So for the thief, it would be the great spider. And he spotted reinforcement special creature. So we're going to roll, it looks like. And we do have to add +2. So I'm going to roll here. I rolled a 2. And then I have to add 2 more. So it's a 4. It's going to be a giant wasp is the special creature, and that costs 6 points. So he lost 1 for the fear card. And then now he's going to lose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more for the special creature. The giant wasp is not a champion. He's elite. He's yellow. Okay, so he has 6 hit points. So we're going to get him out here. He would spawn, because it's a corridor, I'm assuming he would spawn right there. And he would be facing that way. And there is a placing creature in rooms, large rooms, in corridors. Place first, starting at the furthest end of the section. In case of equality, yeah. The first creature will be placed in the front of the hero or adjacent to the wall closest to the hero who first visualized the section. Okay, so basically he's going at the end of a section. So this end or this end, and because we opened him, he basically is going here. He's right on us. Okay, that's not good. All right, the giant wasp we do have the Hobbit is able to sneak by anybody that's not small. So the giant wasp is, I'm going to look at the bestiary here. It's medium. So the Hobbit, we open this, and then the one thing I can do is I can go 2, 3, and get behind him, and then try to stabby in the back. And that's what we're gonna do. So he's gonna roll his 2 dice. He got a 7, and then he adds 4. So if you look, he normally adds a 3, but he gets to add 1 more because of the barbarian has the training feature where he gives +1 combat to somebody. So we gave it to the halfling, so that makes it a 4. And then we get 1 more because he's stabbing from behind. So it's 5. So anyways, so he gets 2 dice and he gets -1 to the armor of the wasp. The wasp's armor is a 5. So that's awful. But we're going to go ahead and roll 2 dice for Mr. Fatty here. And he missed both of them. So none of that mattered. And we have to roll 3d6 for this to determine extra skills that wasp has. So that's 12 points. Oh boy. So the creature's flying as well. So they ignore enemy melee ranges. So you can't engage, like the flying creature can just buzz right by somebody if they wanted, but they are within melee range for purposes of hitting. They do have fearsome. So there are some skills. Flying is one of them. Fearsome, sting, poisonous. None of these look like you can spend VPs for them, though. There's no VP cost. So I don't think this is... It says you roll 3d6 and add that many points to it, but that's not the case here. So let me just look at another creature. Yeah, like for example, the giant spider can have paralyzing poison, and that costs 3 VP. So there's just no VP available to spend on the wasp. So anyways, yeah, this was dumb of me to do. But we're going to get a lot of points once we survive all this. Okay, so I'm done with my turn because that was my last activated hero. So we're going to now move to turn 6, and they score a point. They're at 7. Oh, we scored a point because we cast a spell, so we're up to 3. And we start with the spiders again. So the spiders don't have a choice. The lion is the only thing they could really attack because it has the least armor. So they're going to both focus on the lion. The lion does have to do... The lion's dice are not easy to see, so I'm going to roll just dice under Chun. So the lion rolled a 7, and its courage is 5, so it passed the fear check against that spider. So now the lion rolls 2 dice, which of course is way down here. I rolled a 10 for the lion. That's a good roll. And 2 here. Oh gosh, they rolled a 10. The lion the lion wins. It has 5 combat. The spiders only have 3. So now we're going to do it again. Dark player rolled an 8. And I'm just going to choose Armamore here for the lion roll. We rolled 2 1s. Does it even have a blunder roll? Not according to the card, it doesn't. But it has fangs, so let me grab. The blunder roll would be a 1. Jesus, I almost got that too. Okay, so the lion's getting hit. They roll, the Dark Lord is going to roll 3. The lion's armor is 3. So the lion's going to take 3 hits. Like so. Okay, so that was not a great outcome. And then we got the wasp here, and we got to figure out, the wasp is using the horse logic, which is the same, animals and vermin. And so the wasp is going to, if wounded, and with the enemies of the same alert, these are the spiders, they had to perform a courage test. If they failed, they're going to try to run away instead of attacking the lion. So we actually should do that. And so that's a 7 plus 4. The first spider passed. The second spider actually failed. So the lion gets his hit points back. Was it 6? Yes. Hit points go back to the lion. The spider actually tries to run away. It has 6 points. Tries to move as far away as possible, disengaging automatically. So there's no disengagement rule. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it would face that way. Well, technically it would face that way. So that spider's running away. Now, next time it activates, it's wounded, but it's not near anybody, so then it would start running back. So it's going to run away, run back, run away, run back. Now the giant wasp is going to go after the enemy with the lowest health, which is the rogue. So the wasp is going to just turn around and attack the rogue. And we're going to roll 2 dice for the Dark Lord. It's a 7. And then Mr. Fatty gets to roll his 2 dice, which is a 9. That's good. The halfling adds 4. And then the wasp also adds 4. So we win that roll. But let's see what other skills the wasp has that could. We got to do a fearsome check for Fatty. Sting. Gets a -1. See, but it says fangs. It doesn't say sting. So I don't know when he would use sting. Then poisonous. If it causes a loss of 1 hit point, then we can roll to see if they're poisoned. Okay, so we're good there. Now let's roll for Fatty here. Okay, he passes the courage check too, so he's not stunned. All right, so the giant wasp didn't do anything to Mr. Hobbitses, and it is now our turn. So I gotta go calm my dog down. And where am I at on time? We're an hour in. Okay, I'll just pause. Okay. It is our turn. We got ourselves a bit of a dilemma. Now that that spider ran away. But I think we're okay. So we're going to start off with the Paladin's going to go first. We're going to attack the spider. Well, actually, that's the courage roll. So the Paladin is now stunned because it has the fear thing happening to it. So Paladin will have to roll for that later. And then this is the attack. 7 plus 5 is 12. And then the spider failed. So the Paladin gets to roll, I believe it's 4 dice again. Nope, 5 dice. Hope I rolled them up here. The spider has an armor of 4. And gosh darn it, we only hit it once. So that spider is still alive. Okay, so the lion, because the spider's engaged, well, the spider's small, he can't hold anybody. And we can, because the spider's small, we can knock it backwards one space. I don't know if I want to, but I'm just going to leave the spider there. But the spider's actually going to go chase down the other one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it's not attacking that other spider, so it didn't have to do a fear check. So we rolled, and then of course it's this thing. I rolled a 7 plus 4. That's 11 to 8. The lion wins. So the lion's going to roll 5 dice. I'm just going to use Armamore here. And there's 1, 2, 3 hits on the spider. So this spider is dead. And then we're going to go ahead and move it off into the sunset. And that's another point for us. So we're up to 4. Yeah, I don't know if the developer is ever going to watch these videos, but these pictures here are awful. Like, the numbers need to be easier to read. So that's that. And then the barbarian is going to go ahead and move in and attack the spider. So we got to do a fear check. He also failed, so he's stunned. And then we're going to roll a 7 plus 5 is 12 minus 1 because he's stunned. Oh, so he misses. Again, barbarian's useless. This one, we're going to turn away. We're going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I can cast another ice arrow. That would be an interesting thing to do, but that would be my last time I can cast that spell. But you know what? Why wait, right? Let's just do it. We'll worry about later when later comes. I think if I use a mana potion, it lets me restore one of my spells. User recovers 4 points, can remove 1 token from 2 cards of spells already cast. So that'll let, so yeah, I can actually, when it says remove from spells already cast, it's because you can only cast spells so many times. So I got 2 mana tokens on my spell, which shows that I've used it as much as I can. Anyways, you get the idea. So Chun here will roll 2 dice to attack the, so it's a 5 plus 5 is 10. We're actually attacking it from behind, which would have, I don't know if that would have given us a +1 because this is a magic test, but it doesn't matter. We still got enough. The range of the ice arrow is 12, so we're more than fine in range. And then it lets us do 4 damage dice. And the wasp has 5 armor, so you can see we only hit it once. But with 5 armor, hitting it once is a victory. And there she be. Okay, so then we got our archer here, who's 4 spaces away. So what we're going to do is we're going to move up 2. And then shoot our arrows with a -1. And you can see here, we get a +5. So 9 plus 5. Even with the -1, you know, we hit it. And using the elven bow, I need to look at the sheet here. The elven bow lets us roll 4 damage dice. And that is beautiful. We just did 3 hits there. So 1, 2, 3 hits. It's down to 2. I guess I was supposed to do a fear check, which that passed with flying colors. Okay, then it's the rogue is the only one left. And I counted that last attack from as it was from behind. It doesn't, you have to start your turn behind them. So in neither case, this turn or the last turn, was he from behind, but that's okay. We're gonna roll 2. That's not enough to hit him. Or no, he gets to roll. And he rolled a 7. And technically this was my fear roll. So a 5, he passed his fear roll. So now we're going to roll his real one. So he's got to beat a 7. He does. He gets an 8 and he gets to add 4. The wasp also adds 4. So he beats him by 1. And he rolls a whole 2 dice for damage. And one of them hits. And actually, he got an armor -1, but the other die still didn't hit. So that thing's down to 1 health. We almost got him. All right, so we now go to turn 7. The Dark Lord gets a point, and we get a point for our spell. So we're up to 5. This spider here is engaged. He can't disengage, but he will attack the barbarian. So we're going to roll his 2 dice. He rolls a 9. Barbarian rolls 2. Okay, so it's 9 plus 3 is 12, and this is 7 plus 5 is 12. Then it's who has the higher agility. They're actually tied. So defender wins. It would have been whoever had a shield, but nobody has a shield either. Okay, so barbarian blocks his attack. The wasp is going to roll 2 on, oh my gosh, he rolls an 11. Fatty rolls a 5. Okay, so the wasp is hitting Fatty. The wasp rolls 5 damage dice. Whew. And Fatty has an armor of 4. So 3 hits, that's enough to kill Fatty. So Fatty has to use a TP. He rolls a 4. So now he has to use 2 TP to survive that. He's down to 5 left. And that gave the Dark Lord 2 more points. He's up to 10. So yeah, the wasp was not a smart move, was it? We're going to get some points back, though, once we kill this thing. But yeah, that wasn't a smart move the first time around. How many points do we get for killing him? I know it said that before somewhere. I'm a goober sometimes. It's right on the card. 2 points we're going to get for killing this guy. So let's do that. Exactly that. All right, so we're going to start with the Paladin. Paladin's going to roll 2 dice for fear. Or no, Paladin has to roll 1 die to remove stun. And it does. So stun is gone. Then 2 dice for fear. And it passes the fear check. Now 2 dice for the attack. Oh my gosh, come on. Then 2 for... Okay, so the Paladin failed to hit the spider. So now we move to him. He's going to roll... Oh gosh, he has to roll for weather. I've been forgetting to do that. That impacts their... It doesn't really do much. It impacts movement and archery. So this person would have had to roll for weather last turn. Oh my gosh, and it happened. Oh, she rolled high enough. She would have hit it. She would have gotten a -1 to her archery. So this one would have gotten a -1 to her movement. So got to go back 1 space. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, back to this. Fear check. Failed. No. Recover from stun check. Passed. Fear check. Passed. Damage check. I rolled a 3 again. Come on. Oh, he only rolled a 5. So 5 plus 3 is 8 for him. And a 3 plus 5 is 8. Oh, the defender wins for the same reason. There's nobody with shield and nobody has higher agility. So, actually the dwarf has lower agility. So the dwarf actually would have gotten hit last time. So let's roll for his hit. Dark player would have rolled 3 dice on the dwarf. 1 hit on the dwarf. So he took 1 damage. The dwarf didn't tie him in agility whenever the spider attacked him last time. Okay, going down to here. We're going to try to do an archery check. 6 plus 5 is 11. We do hit. And rolls 4 dice. And yes, this thing is dead. So it's down to 0. And that gave us 2 points. So they're at 10, we're at 7. And I'm going to just go ahead and move 1. Well, no, we got to do a weather check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I can also, well, actually, I'm just going to do a perception check. 7. I don't have my lion with me, so I searched the room and I got nothing. And, yep, he can't move because she attacked. Our turn's over. So now we're on to turn 8. They score another point. The spider is going to attack. 4 to R7. Spider doesn't hit. So now it's our turn. The paladin has to do a fear check. Fine, I'll use those dice. I passed. Paladin rolls a 9. The spider rolls a 7. Spider's going to get hit by 5 dice. And 2 of them hit. Spider is finally dead. So that's another point for us. We did successfully perceive a trap. And so I do get a point for that as well. So we're up to 9. And then I think we also got past this trap here. I did have to use a fortune point for it, but that puts us to 10. And the barbarian can move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm just realizing that because of the stupid graphics, I forgot about the cat. So at the end of the last turn, the cat would have moved up 1, 2, 3, 4, and actually attacked the guy. So let's see if that would have worked. I rolled an 8. He would have rolled a 7. Yeah, the lion would have killed it last round. So, yeah, he's still going to score a point, but we all get to take a turn. So the lion, for example, we're now in exploration mode. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for the lion. And then exploration 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like that. So then the elf would have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we, 1, 2, 3, 4. Do I dare open another room? And 1. Well, okay, a couple of things. He needs to roll for the corpses. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I got to look up the corpse rolls again. That needs to be on a printed chart. The fact that the corpse check is hidden way too deep in the rule book, and it's so critically confusing and important at the same time. That part is highly annoying that it doesn't exist. It's not even in the Dark Player sheet either. It's not on the back of the rule book. That part, that angers me. The fact that this is so hidden. Oh, so what page is it on? It's like 23, I think. It's in such a weird place. 26. Okay, so the rogue would be the one that does it. For each eliminated enemy, 1d6, 2d6 for elite level. So this would be 2, 3, 4. We're going to roll 5 d6s. And then we got 3 coins for that. And no 6s, so no actual objects are found. And it doesn't matter who does the rolling. It's like, because there's no bonuses or anything given out for the roll. But okay, so that was the corpse roll. Now we're back to the regularly scheduled programming. I've moved 4 spaces, and we're going to go ahead and we can delete these now. So here we go. We opened another really long corridor. Now, it is dark, but the Hobbit's carrying a lantern. And oh my gosh, I forgot to roll this die at the beginning of every one of their turns. I'm so sorry. Because technically the guy, they should have been drawing cards like this, which would have given them +1 natural armor, stuff like that. That battle should have been a little bit harder. And I don't know how to retcon that. I really don't. So my apologies there. That's something that I totally forgot to do. I was just so caught up in the battle that I forgot to roll the die. And at the beginning of every Overlord turn, he would have rolled that die, and every time you would have gotten that symbol that we just received, right there, one of the enemies would have gotten a boost, and it would have been the champion level enemy whenever he was alive, and it would have been the spiders when it was their turn. So I think we even rolled once and was supposed to draw a card, and then I never drew the card. So that was a big, big, big mistake. I mean, I've played this enough now that I shouldn't screw that up. Like, that's not even like a questionable rule. It's just something I knew I was supposed to do and then forgot to do it. So forgive me there. Definitely an asterisk on that win. But we're going to keep moving forward. It's a solo game, and I can't retcon that. So we did roll this time, which means nothing spawns and there's no trap. So I can finish my move and go 5, 6, like so. And that's actually, this thing would have moved 1, 2, 3, and then we would have gone 4, 5. So now the wizard's there, and that brings us to the end of the turn. So now we move to turn 9. They get another point, and this is where we really need to start being mindful of safe zones again, because now there's this empty spot back here. So the lion's going to go first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is what it wants to do. But then when it moved here, just that one spot, okay, nothing happened. So now the barbarian's going to move. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that one spot is triggering this again. And so it's darkness. We already have darkness. So it says discard if it doesn't affect any of the heroes. So he's just going to spend a point and get his point back. So yeah, nothing happens in this case because there's already darkness inside all the corridors. And then he's going to finish his move here for 5. And then we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're not going to go yet. This one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And technically, these guys had weather, so that's for the barbarian, the lion. So the lion actually would have lost 1 movement point. And then the paladin. Okay. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can't move any further. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See, this is preserving safe zone the whole way. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just getting down the corridor is giving the guy points. I mean, there's nothing I can do. So 10, he's up to 13 points now. And I think I gotta, again, you gotta move from the back and sort of go forward. So we're gonna start with the paladin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then this guy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then the lion. Nope, then this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then the lion. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Finally got his perception in. And then the hobbit. 1, 2, 3. And we will open the door. And it's a room. We do have an encounter. So we're going to draw that. But there is no trap. And the encounter is another ambush. So that means that they're spawning behind us again. So very interesting, up to 6 points. And let's not forget to draw that freaking card, Jeff. Just let's not. So we're gonna go ahead and roll our die here. Remember, we had a +2, so I rolled a 2. It's the exact same thing. We're gonna get the 3 giant great spiders again, or yeah, great spiders. So it's not a giant spider, it's a great spider. It's a Trump spider. Because it's a great spider. Okay. So they would have spawned behind us like this. 1. Well, no, they would have been, they spawn at the edge of the corridor. Yeah, that's exactly how they would spawn. 1, 2, then the third one would be right on us. 3, because the tile ends here. So they would spawn at the edge of the tile and closest to the player. Okay. So with that being said, this character still hasn't gone. Oh, it doesn't matter. We roll for initiative. So the initiative is the perception roll. And I believe it does have to be the closest person. Like when I rolled for the paladin last time, the initial roll will be made with the perception of the hero closest to any enemy. Yeah, so it's going to be the barbarian's perception. So his perception is 0. He doesn't get any -1. Well, he might. The studded armor actually gives him a -1. And I'm just looking to see if he gets a +1 for anything else. Nope. So he's getting a -1. So we're going to go ahead and roll for him. A 6. That's not very good. So 6 - 1 is 5. And then, yeah, they rolled an 8. So they go first again. All right, so they're going first. They score a point. Well, technically, I gave them a point at the start of the round. So no, they don't score another point. Technically, they only score their point when it's their turn. And I gave them a point when we started the round. thinking that they were, going to automatically get their turn. So I already gave them that point. It's important because they're beating us right now. Okay, first thing they do is roll the die, because I keep forgetting. There is no power this time. The spiders will attack the barbarian, so they're going to roll 2 dice. They got a 10. Mr. Barbarian, they got a 13, actually. The barbarian did not get a 13, so they are going to roll some hits. The spiders roll 3 dice. The barbarian has an armor of 4, so none of them hurt him. So that one's good. This one is going to go up, and it says they're going to go with the guy with the lowest armor. So he is the one with the lowest armor. So this is going to do the same. Roll his 2 dice. He rolled an 8. The barbarian rolled an 11, so he beat that one. And then this guy will go up, and the armor is the same for both of them. Lowest health. So they're going to attack the forester. They got a 5. Forester got a 7. Forester still has a higher points, 3. They're actually both tied. So Forster wins. So no damage there. The ambush in this case is not so bad because I mean, I don't have a wasp on the other side this time, but we definitely have to deal with it, and it is our turn. Barbarian, they would have gotten a +1 to their rolls, but I don't think that would have mattered. Barbarian's going to attack the one that's right here. Oh, the Armamore would have done a defensive bow shot against the first one that moved within range. That would have been this guy here. So let's do that. Jesus criminy. So thankfully his bow didn't break, but he did get a critical failure. It breaks on a 1, in case you're wondering. I keep forgetting to roll extra damage dice if they rolled a 6. So let's remember to do that. I forgot that in the last battle that we did too. So it's a rule that, for whatever reason, it's not very natural to me. So if I'm rolling to hit and I roll a 6 in one of my dice, I get an extra damage die. That's not a natural rule to me. It makes no sense. But anyways, the barbarian's going to go ahead and try to attack this guy. So we rolled a 10. And then the spider, 6. So the barbarian does hit for 4 + 2, 6 damage, and it gets a -1, 6 damage dice, and it's a -1 to armor. So the armor is normally 4, but it becomes a 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This guy is dead. And then we get a point. Okay, barbarian's done. We're going to go ahead and use our archer. Let's shoot the one in the back. Oh, that's a hit. Archer uses 4 dice. 1, 2, 3. And I can't even remember, did I just roll 6 to hit? And I got an extra damage die? I can't remember. I think I rolled a 6 and a 4. So yeah, I get 1 more damage die. So there's 3 hits there. Okay, 3 hits. 1, 2, 3. And then the paladin will turn around and help. And so she will roll her 2 dice. We got an 8 to a 7. So we do hit, and the paladin's going to roll 4, 5 dice. And that's 1, 2, 3 hits on this guy. So it's 1 away. Okay, everybody else really can't do much to help. So I'm going to move the lion into the room. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, Now, you might be wondering, well, aren't you supposed to be rolling for traps? This isn't the exploration. This is battle. So it like sort of, it just shuts off. So you can use this time to run into the room. 2, 3, 4, 5. And I don't know which way to go, of course. But, and then this, we're going to run in as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so now it's their turn. They score a point. We're gonna roll their die. Nothing happens. This one's gonna attack the forester. Ooh, a 3. That should be easy to beat, and it is. This one's gonna attack the barbarian. Got a 7 and a 9. So neither of them hit. Okay, so now it's our turn. Barbarian's gonna go. Roll 2 dice. Got a 6 to a 7. The barbarian does hit because he rolls 5 dice or gets to add 5. So barbarian does 6 damage dice with a -1 armor. This should do the trick. Oh my gosh. Barely did the trick, but it does. Kill him. So we get another point. And then, who should we have do this attack? We'll have the paladin do the attack. Oh, come on. I rolled a 3, they rolled an 8. Paladin misses. So then we're going to have to do an archer attack. That's a 5 plus 5 more is 10. So we actually do pull it off. Now, both of these spiders actually would have tried to run away. I forgot about that rule. My apologies there. They would have done a fear check and then tried to run away instead of attack, and miss like they did. Well, first of all, let me resolve this and see if I would have killed it, and then we'll do the runaway thing. So, yes, I would have killed it. So now let's do the runaway thing. So if they were going to run away, it's basically, it's part of the animals and vermin thing. They do a courage check. Their courage is 4. So this one, for example, would have failed. So he would have ran away 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he's still alive with 1 hit point. And then this one would have passed, so he would have killed him. And the one that killed him was the barbarian. So then the paladin, I would not have turned around, I don't think. Or maybe I would have. But my attitude is I think I would have let the spider be. So he's here. I would have gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just gone into the next room. And then this one would have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 as well. Yeah. Like, it might have been worth it to come down here and shoot down the corridor, but it moved all the way out of the room. Okay, so now this is where I'm tempted to open the next room. So, because I still have 3 characters here to do something with. So I think I will. I'm going to go ahead and open that room. Oh, I got a trap. It's a deep crack. So it costs 4 points. Place a crack up to 6 squares in length and 1 or 2 squares. It does occur in a corridor. So it could completely block the corridor. But it's only a 3 observation. And so we're going to go ahead and roll for Fatty here. And unless I critically fail, I'm sorry, I need to roll 2 dice. Jesus, I critically passed. So I get a point for that. And then there is no disabling it. It's just, if it's not detected, the characters fall and knocked out. So so what ended up happening here is it put a hole in the terrain here. So it's actually this. I don't know if there's a way to rotate it, but they need one that's just facing the other way. They might actually. Oh. So the issue is, I'll put it like there, but it's basically this whole passageway. You have to jump over it because there's a pit there. And then what we were doing was seeing, like, when I passed the test, all I did was I passed that I didn't fall into it. So that would have been bad news for me. So I don't know how to rotate objects, and I don't know how to put that on in a different way. So to recap, I feel like I'm screwing up a lot. I've definitely screwed up some rules. I keep forgetting to roll this die. I keep forgetting to add the extra combat die. I keep forgetting to make the spiders run away. And I know somebody tried to give feedback that it's because you're controlling 5 characters. Well, let me just stop you right there. None of these mistakes I'm making is because I have 5 characters. I'm making mistakes because, I'm thinking about, okay, what am I going to do next? And then, of course, there's a lot of steps to this. This is a very fiddly game. Whether I'm using the app or not using the app, it's a very fiddly game. And I don't know if it gets my award for best dungeon crawl, although I'm really enjoying this aspect of the game, what we're doing right here. I'm having fun. I just, I'm screwing up while I'm having fun. That's all. I really enjoy this. I love the character creation. There's so many things about this that I like, but man, oh man, is it a fiddly game. Okay, so back to regularly scheduled programming. I detected this thing, and so I would have to be able to jump over it. So I'm technically there. And so then the cat, we get to roll 2 dice and then add his agility. So his agility is 5. So he rolled a 5. So the great cat passed, and so he gets to jump over. And so technically he can move all the way up to here. He can't open the next room, or maybe he can. I don't care. I'm not going to look it up right now. But that's how you do this. Now the problem is this character needs to do the same thing. So I just moved 1 space, and then now I got to pass an agility check with him. His agility is 4, so he actually passed 2. So he jumps over, and I think goes to about right there. I don't know if his movement points ended. I mean, I did perceive it. I didn't try to disarm it, so that's not an action. So I'd roll my 2 dice, and then I get to do the same. And technically, I can open the next room. I don't think I should, but that's technically what I could do. So yeah, I ended my turn. And so it's their turn. They're going to score a point. So now the spider, once again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then it's going to attack. It got a 7. It has a 6. I need to remember that. We got an 8, so we blocked it. Now it's our turn. So I'm going to go ahead and attack with the barbarian. I got an 8. He got a 3. Barbarian gets to roll 6 dice. More than enough to kill this thing. And it's murder, death, killed. Demolition Man. By the way, nobody got the movie reference for Chun. Chun, properly spelled as such, is from the movie Remo Williams, The Adventure Begins. And the movie has aged a bit. I have to confess, it's a little aged. It's definitely way before the Twin Towers were killed in New York or destroyed in New York. But it's a great movie. I can't say enough how much I like that movie. It was supposed to be like a competitor to Marvel and all the other stuff that's out there. And I don't know. Personally, I ended up liking it more than most Marvel movies these days. But, you know, it is what it is. So Remo Williams, The Adventure Begins. And there's a character in there. His name's Chun. And he's the one that trains Remo. Okay. He's done. The moment that he wins, we do the corpse cleanup. So there's 3 corpses here. We scored a point for destroying a corpse. And then we have to roll dice. So we get to roll 3 dice. And we're going to get 1 coin out of the deal. We can delete the corpses. Then everybody gets to start anew. So our turn starts again. So even though he just finished an action, he gets another move and all that stuff. Okay, how am I doing on time? Almost at 2 hours. I'm gonna have to end this video soon. So let's get, I'm not gonna be able to resolve another battle. I mean, I'm already near 2 hours, but we at least get what we can. Remember, we're in darkness. The dwarf is not affected by it, and neither is the elf. The human is, and then the bard is carrying a lantern, which has a range of 6. So we also have the issue of the safe zones and everything else that goes with it. So for example, the dwarf here can move 1, 2 for his safe zone, but right here he's got to roll the die again. And of course, there's another trap. It is a block of stone. So I'm going to go ahead and just roll right now. He gets knocked backwards from that. Rolls his 2 dice. He rolled a 7. Believe it or not, he actually passes the freaking thing with his perception. So we do score a point for that. We go to 16. Square occupied by the character who activated a trap. A large block of stone collapses on the character. Agility test is required. If you pass, the character takes... So basically the trap's there, but we don't, you know, try to disarm it. Unless the rogue wants to run all the way back. If we're going down a dead end, then maybe we'll do that, but otherwise I'm going to leave it be. So it's a trap. I don't know like what we can do to represent a trap, but this looks as good as any. Oh no, this looks as good as any. That thing right there. That's a beautiful trap. And you know what? I can put this, we can just put 2 of these. Let's put 2 of those in. There we go. All right, so his movement ended. He doesn't get to go anymore. And if I move this character out of the way, then I'm stuck in the same boat where the safe zone thing is a problem. And the characters are too far apart from each other. So that means then what I'm at least going to do with the human is going to move 1, 2, so we can get safe zones created. And then this one will move, or no, we'll move the lion back. 1, 2, 3. So now there's safe zones for all the way up to here. Unfortunately, I got to pass with everybody else. So I could have, actually I'm going to move, no, I'm going to have her just do a perception check. And of course it's only a 3. Her spell, by the way, ran out. So we could have had her cast another spell. But basically what I was trying to do was see if we can get some coins. Search, I don't know if you can search a corridor, but it's a search a room thing. All right, we're going to move to turn 12, give him another point. Safe zone, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was all safe zone. So then now I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, all safe zone. then 1, 2, and then let's see if we pass this agility test. We do not. So I got to see what happens now. This was some weird pit. A deep crack. So by the way, that would have cost him 3 more reserve points. He will get the same result if he tries to cross with a great jump and fails. I mean, it does block a door. It says it can't be placed in such a way. But okay, it doesn't matter. So the character falls and is knocked out. And the mage won't be able to recover the body. Oh my gosh, that's a lot worse than taking some damage. Jesus, I gotta use a fortune point. This is not something I wanted to do. If it causes them to be knocked out, this is not something I wanted to do at all. Yeah, I mean, no, I would not. I'm okay with spending a fortune point because I'm being a goober, but I would go another way. I mean, this deep crack with an agility of 1, I have no way of jumping across this thing unless I roll really well. I gotta roll a 10. And because I have an agility of 1, I only get to add 1 to my die. I mean, that's suicide. And if you get knocked out, it says the mates won't be able to recover the body. So not only do you get knocked out, but you can't even recover the body. So I mean, you're permadeath if you fall down this thing. The fact that I willingly jumped across it with my other characters has me. Wow. So we have these pickaxes here. We have to use a rope. See, you can use it to a footbridge if combined with 1 rope. In this case, the pickaxes are not reused. This means you can reuse them. Okay, so I made a mistake. I should have bought a rope because this is a hellacious trap. So, yeah, you should never go into a dungeon without a rope. And we have the pickaxes. We actually got those for free because we found them. I mean, a rope costs 1 freaking coin. Maybe used to build a footbridge in combination with 1 piece. Help other characters to jump over, climb out of pits. It breaks in the case of a critical failure. So when we stopped in a town before we went and did this mission, I mean, my apologies. I'm not familiar with how bad the traps can be. This is a bad one. And for the cost of 2 coins, you can build a footbridge that lets you get over it. Okay, so here's how we're going to resolve this. I had the pickaxes already. We're just going to assume that when I went into town, I spent 1 coin and picked up the rope. I know that's not what really happened, but that's what we're going to do. And then I have everything I need to build a footbridge. Now, 1 person does have to get to the other side, which we are on the other side. But all you need is 1 character on both sides, and then the character with the items, which happens to be the dwarf in this case. When they get there, they build a footbridge. Then you can walk across. And if you have any large characters, the footbridge can break on a roll of a 1. And then, of course, they have to spend an extra movement point to use the footbridge. So we're going to move to turn 13. and he scores another point. So here we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And once again, I have to end my turn. 14, 19, and I would have moved him up too. So now we go here, and sorry, I would have moved this character here. So now we have characters on both sides, and I would have spent, like, these are consumed. The pickaxe and rope is consumed, but we lose those items. I'm going to just keep them off to the side because I'm buying them every single chance I get now. And so now the footbridge is built. And so I have to spend another turn now. Well, actually, I can go 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, I can't. Unless I can go diagonal. Maybe I could do that. So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to move the lion back down. Then we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we're going to go to turn 15. 20 points for him. 1, 2, 3. He has to stop. Then we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let's open this thing up. All right, so this is a special element. Mushrooms. Okay. Mushrooms are in here somewhere. Oh, here they are. Full big mushrooms that grow. So the whole group can roll 1d6. The character who does the roll can be poisoned. No effect. Gain components for magic. Or find 1d3 mushrooms of frenzy. I don't know what mushrooms of frenzy does, but yeah, I don't want to do anything with them. So we did that, and then we can move forward for 6. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, nothing there. Facing this way. So then the lion's going to come in. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more step would be too far for the safe zone. 1, 2, 3, 4. Gonna stop. 1, 2, 3, 4, and stop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and stop. And 1, 2. Yeah, and just stop. And actually, I'm going to have her look behind her, right? Because we've been ambushed twice, so why look forward? So another turn goes by, and another point for them. And then here we go again. So 1, 2, 3. Oh, this looks like the main room. Yes, there's a giant leader symbol here. I'm going to have to end the video here because this looks like it's going to be quite some time to resolve this room. But we will go ahead and do this real quick first. So nothing else spawns with the leader. So we'll have to figure that stuff out. And then, of course, there will be new turns started and everything like that. We'll have to do an initiative roll. The Hobbit is finally up front. So let's actually do that right now. Do I win the initiative roll? I rolled an 11. Damn Skippy, I'm going to win this initiative roll. He got a 7. So heroes are going to go first for a change. And yeah, we'll see you on the other side. Thanks for watching. As always, stay awesome.